dream start.
Welcome to another episode. My name is Dean Vasic. You can find me on X at #Kangas, Instagram #Kangaroos podcast. Tonight, I'm back with Jesse to talk about the men's team. Thanks for coming on tonight, Jesse. It's been a while and we have a lot of things to catch up on. Before we go to the big news, we might as well talk about the BNF last Saturday night. And surprisingly, dual winners in Tristan Sherry and Harry Sheasel, with LDU coming in third place this year. I felt like it was always a two-horse race between Sherry and Sheasel. Who was going to get it this year? I probably thought Sherry was going to be a lone winner, but that's how it's gone. Harry Sheasel obviously finished the season off very strong. How did you see the BNF? And any surprises there for you? I'm going to guess you probably thought there was one big surprise in the top 10.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I didn't think that. I thought Jerry should have won outright, even with the games missed. I thought he was clearly our best player for the year. Then I thought it was a bit of a toss of the coin. Sheasel obviously ended the year, well, but had some quiet patches obviously throughout. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I almost had Parker in top 2 or 3, to be honest. I thought he had a fantastic year. So he obviously polled well, which is really good to see. Caleb Daniel, interesting one, obviously coming as high as he did. Not sure what was going on there. Obviously, McKercher was lower than him. Paul Curtis was 10th or something.
10th.
So, yeah, weird voting system, obviously, because some of the players who had borderline All-Australian years, being, Paul Curtis is coming 10th, and you've got someone who David King wanted taken out the back and shot, coming in the top 5 or 6.
Yeah, bit strange, isn't it?
It is a bit strange. The system needs a look at.
I mean, McKercher's second half of the year was very strong, and he finished off very strong after a very indifferent first half of the year, trying a new role. Caleb Daniel, pretty much the only, outside of McKercher, was the only defender in the top 10. That's almost saying that he was our best defender this year, and I find that hard to believe. I don't think he was even close to our best defender this year, Jesse.
Says a lot about our defenders, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it says a lot about our defenders. I mean, I think Toby Pink polled higher than Charlie Comden and Griffin Logan and the rest of the talls as well. So that was interesting. But it probably says a lot about our defense. I thought Hardiman had a pretty good year. Yeah, it's an interesting.
I would have had Hardiman higher than Daniel.
Was Daniel the only backman who played every game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he.
Maybe he won on consistency. Because our backline was not consistent, that's for sure.
Just showing up and taking kickouts.
Oh, those are just different players half the year. So we know that's a big problem for us as the defense. We know that it's something we need to stabilize on next year.
I mean, top 3, like you sort of mentioned, Parker probably should have finished top 3. LDU finished 3rd, but he was a fair way from the top 2. Simpkin. Obviously, we're going to talk about him very soon. Are you surprised he finished as high as he did, or do you feel like he had that sort of consistent year? And because there was a few games where he did go missing, but he did finish quite strong.
He had a good start to the year, playing in a different position. He was averaging. I think I quoted early in the year. His stats early in the year were actually really, really impressive for the first 3 or 4 games, and then his end to the year was really good off the wing. But he had massive quiet patches in the middle. I didn't have him in my top 7 or 8. Like, there's no way he's ahead of a Paul Curtis or even a McKercher. But so it is interesting. I'd love to know how they. It's a weird voting system, but it
needs rejigging, doesn't it? I don't understand it half the time. So
no, but yeah, he shouldn't have been that high, regardless of this whole situation.
It was, very, very surprising. Yeah, a couple of names are very surprising that probably missed out. I think Hardiman could have easily come top 10. Curtis just to get in the top 10 was a little bizarre, considering he was, led the league in inside 50 tackles, kicked a number of goals, was probably all Australian in the first 7-8 rounds until he got that shocking suspension against Josh Sin for a normal tackle.
Hmm.
Suha I could understand. I thought he had a pretty good year.
I think
38
he had his
goals.
best year in terms
Yeah.
of. I thought he probably did have his best year. It's frustrating at
Oh,
times, but
yeah. Tom Powell, I suppose, is the other one, but I think he fell away towards the end. There's a lot of talk about his
well
future
he
as well.
well he's the other one who obviously was playing. They had him starting off in a midfield position, and then by the end of the year they listened to the fans and moved him to an outside position. So playing a bit of wing, bit of flank, and he really struggled in the last few games. Um, I'll talk about Powell a little bit when we talk about Simkin because there's probably a bit of synergy there. Well, a bit of
Yeah, similar player.
symmetry there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and the situation, but yeah. He had his good moments, but I want to see more because I actually think that he has a good ceiling. I think that he is a good player, and there's a lot more there. We just didn't see it, unfortunately.
Well, he's contracted till next year, so it's going to be a big year for him, as with a number of other players. I thought if anyone was going to ask for a trade, I thought maybe he might have asked for a trade because the last few weeks, he didn't even go up to the wing. He was playing basically in the forward pocket. So,
I wouldn't be
um,
surprised if he did.
yeah, that doesn't. I haven't heard anything about him,
No,
so it
I
sounds
haven't
like
either. And maybe he's happy with it. I don't know, but I'm a little bit surprised because he'd be someone who is South Australian. If Adelaide are wanting another midfielder, he'd be someone that they could go after, um,
yeah.
and we'd probably entertain that.
Possibly, yeah, because he might be squeezed out of that midfield.
Or even with Simkin out, um,
Yeah, yeah. Well, Simpkin wasn't
and
playing
Parker getting
midfield.
less midfield time, you're still talking about a midfield of LDU, Sheasel, Wardlaw, O'Sullivan,
McKercher,
McKercher,
possibly. Yeah.
hopefully,
Mm.
and then a bit of Parker. So there isn't a lot of space left for him.
No, definitely not. Did you hear Clarko's speech? I was a bit surprised at the time when he spoke. I'll just finish with this before I get your
Mm.
thoughts. That he didn't mention anything about leadership. I can see why now. He didn't thank the leaders for the club or anything like that. They did a video and talked about, I don't even know what they're talking about. It was a bit of a strange sort of Clarko's speech. He did mention at the end that we've got our identity with Sheasel and Wardlaw and LDU. We finished the year off strong. So, but just want to get your thoughts if you did hear Clarko's speech.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw extracts of it, so I saw
Yeah,
the reference you're talking about in terms of the identity piece. Um, on your point there, around he didn't touch on the leadership. Do you think that the stuff around Simpkin was already known prior?
it sounds like it was at his exit interview. He
That he
asked for
was
more mid.
unhappy?
Yeah, he asked for more midfield time next year, and Clarko dismissed it. Sort of said, "No, we've got this. The young guys coming through, and we really liked your role on the wing." And apparently, he wasn't too receptive of that, and hasn't been happy since, from what I understand. But that's just
Mm.
me. I'm hearing second, third hand information like everyone
Yeah,
else. I
of
don't
course.
know. Yeah, So it was a bit strange,
Mm.
but that's the way it is. Well, we might as well move on to it. Jai Simpkin news now. His management is looking for interest from other clubs because he does seem like he wants more midfield minutes. How do you feel about it all? He's a captain. He's not the only captain that's asking, by the looks of it, asking for a trade.
No, it seems to be in
This
vogue.
we've got Essendon's captain, Zach Merritt, looks like he wants to leave. And Oscar Allen has already told West Coast that he wants to go to Brisbane, or he is going to Brisbane, I should say. So, the captaincy doesn't mean much these days, Jesse.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The Oscar Allen one we've kind of known all year. I think
Yeah,
everyone's known that all year, and everyone's moved on with the fact that that's going to happen. I think West Coast have come to terms with it because they're going to get a really good compo pick for it. Um, with Merritt, obviously, it's an interesting one. He, I think he goes. I don't think there's any coming back from that situation
no.
because it just seems like an absolute shit show at the moment. Um, I think that I think he goes, whether or not he's Hawthorn or not, because it's just. I struggle to see how some of these deals can get done that would satisfy Essendon because he's going to win their best and fairest. He's probably won it about 8 times. He's been All Australian. He had a good year. He had a little bit of injuries in the middle, but he's a good player. Like he is an A grade player, and he's worth a fair bit. So I don't know how they're going to satisfy that. But yeah, obviously Simpkin, which there were murmurs around post BNF, and then it came out officially. I've seen some people call bullshit on it, and I saw Bucks today on SEN say, I don't think this is completely accurate. I don't know what evidence he has on that, or if he's just running with he doesn't think it's accurate. But yeah, look, I think it came as a surprise to some people. Twitter was obviously blowing up about it. People saying that, that it was breaking their heart that he was leaving. You had people saying that it was that then pretty much just throwing him out and saying, "Oh, he's a hack and who cares anyway," and all these reactions to it. We talked about it beforehand. There's a part of me that agrees that if you're the captain and you're trying to drive change at your football club, but you can't adapt with the change to your role, then you're not going to be the right captain to be able to take us forward in terms of that. And I've probably thought that he probably isn't the right person to be captain, even through when he was sharing it with McDonald. I just think that it took too much of a toll on them, but I just don't think that they've got the right personalities to be able to be the leaders of the club. And there have been times this year where I've gone, I don't know what his best position is. I don't know if he's best 22. When he got injured, I wasn't glad that he got injured, but it was, well, at least we don't have to now try and just find a position for him. But he kind of found one towards the end of the year, and so look, it is disappointing. But I'm also, he's now got the record with David Swallow winning a final, that he's played the most games of anyone ever, I think, or at least in the league at the moment, who hasn't played a final. So I don't begrudge him for going, well, my career is just slipping away and we're never, there's a chance that I may never play finals. Like that's why you play football. And at the end of the day, it's his career, and he's got a limited, finite period of time that he can be an AFL footballer. And if you're not enjoying it, if you're not playing your best position, then he should absolutely go find somewhere that he is. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think that he could absolutely be, if we had put him in there as a genuine mid for, as the main midfielder at times this year, I think he would have had some good moments. We saw that in the Indigenous game. I think in a good team, he could be a good player. That's my thoughts on him. Look, at the end of the day, if he decides he doesn't want to go, or we can't get a deal for him, I've got no issue with him staying. I just don't have an issue with him staying. Do I have an issue with him keeping the captaincy? Maybe, but I think I already had that concern. So I think it's more, if he wants to leave and we can get a deal that works for both parties, I'm happy to do so, and I wish him all the best. But at the end of the day, if he can't get a deal done and he comes back and he gives us his all, which I'm sure he will, then people just need to move on with it and accept that he's still player in the team.
Yeah, and I think I spoke to you about this off air. Look, we've all been at a job, and this is a job. This is his livelihood. Where we've been at work and we felt like we deserve more and we're entitled to more. And he's been the face of the club for the last 4 or 5 years when we've been struggling, and we've been getting smashed. And he's had to face the media, and that's probably taken its toll on him. He's copped a lot of abuse from supporters as well when he has faced the media. And I've even been critical of him when he's faced the media sometimes, and the way he's played and so forth. But at the end of the day, it is a business, and you got to look after. If he believes that he deserves better opportunities as a midfielder, then so be it. Then you just have to accept that. And there's no role for him probably next year or next 4 years, wherever his contract is. In the midfield, I think we've got other players coming through: Harry Sheasel, LDU, George Wardlaw, Colin McKercher, Finn O'Sullivan. That's 5 potential A-grade midfielders. He's never going to get to that level again, and I think you can certainly play in the midfield for a club that's maybe someone like an Essendon, if they're going to lose merit, I think Jai Simpkins not a bad replacement for him. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And I don't begrudge anyone if they look for further opportunities. If they want to go to a new employment and feel like they're entitled to better opportunities, then you just have to accept
that's
it.
exactly right. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm not, disappointed or whatever. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Obviously, if it was a Harry Sheezel or someone else, we'd be far more disappointed. We'd be sitting here saying equalisation doesn't work, blah 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 blah. I don't feel like that in this case. I think we could get a decent deal for him.
Are you worried about the circle of people he hangs around with as well? He seems to be friends with Ugle-Hagan, who's had his off-field dramas. He seems to be trying to turn it around, but he seems to be friends with Jason Lord-Francis as well. From what I understand, he hasn't really ever spoke bad about him, even though a number of other people.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know him well enough.
I probably couldn't give an educated opinion on it. I just don't think that he's the right person to be the captain of the club.
Look, even if he stays, he's not going to be captain next year, is he? Like, even if he stays, that's 0% chance, I think, almost now.
Do we reckon? Do you reckon they'll take it off him? Do you reckon the players will take it?
Well, the players vote, don't they? So I'm pretty sure players will vote. I think, to be honest, if the players are going to vote, they're probably going to vote Harry Sheezel.
Well, that was an interesting one. We were talking to a lot of people on X around that. A lot of people saying Tristan Cherry should get it, and I kind of put up and said, "Well, you're kind of overlooking Larky. He's the joint vice at the moment, and I know X bleeds blue and white, but Larky bleeds blue and white, and he's one who's signed a long-term contract. Could have got massive deals elsewhere. Like, if we're talking about A-grade talent that's in our club that other clubs would throw a kitchen sink at, Larky is one of those very few at our club that would genuinely, have a kitchen sink thrown at him, and he decided to stay at North playing as a forward. He's gone through the absolute ringer. There's a part of me that, I think that he really, and at all the public events he talks really well. I think he genuinely loves the club, Nick Larky. So I wouldn't have an issue with it being him and a Harry Sheezel, or him as captain, Sheezel as vice for a few years. I don't want to rush Sheezel into it, but I also think Sheezel could handle it quite well. But you never know the impact it's going to have on someone.
Yeah, I mean, the only question with Sheezel, I suppose, is he's still a kid. He's only 20 years old at the end of the day. And there was that time, was it Kane Corns had a go at him about that Sheezy ball? I don't think it was more a go at him. I think it was the coaching staff just telling him to play a cheap role and get cheap kicks. And he sort of got emotional about that.
He did.
So maybe it's just a bit of immaturity there.
Well, he's still a kid. I've got no issue with him being one of the vice captains, joint vice with maybe Sherry or someone 100%. Like that. But if we're going to take it off Simpkin, I'd give it to Larky. That's just my take.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, Jesse, I think that the coaches have got to decide the captain as well. They know who the leaders are. Don't just get the players to do it. We're just going to pick their mates at the end of the day. So that's my opinion. How do you feel about it? Because it seems like the players have the majority of the vote.
Yeah. There's a part of me, we've talked about it before, there's a part of me that kind of wants a dictated model. But,
or maybe I'm just old-fashioned. I kept going back to Dennis Pagan, who said, Carey captain, Anthony Stevens vice captain, that was it. So there's no discussion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you want your leaders to pick, you want the people at the top to pick who the leaders are, not, the people.
Yeah.
Because people don't they're not all going to know who is, you don't often pick your own boss. So.
No, that's right.
It's an interesting one. Look, I still see a world where he comes back and could be captain. I still see that.
What would you say the percentage?
I don't think.
10%.
Well, if he came out now and just said, and I still think he could come out now and smooth it all over, and we'd all get over it overnight. I still think that could happen, and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what dialogue he's had with the other players at the club. I still see a world in which he could be captain. I can still see that. I can absolutely still see that. And it's not like the Merritt situation where it's just turned into an absolute debacle.
Well, I think that half their list have asked for a trade by the looks of it. So, at Essendon. So, look, that's not a bad thing. Brad Scott might be desperate here, Jesse. and he might say, "I've got to get Jai Simpkin in because we've got no one left." So he might throw the world at him.
Well,
So
Cal Toomey's suggesting that Essendon might want to. They might have so many first-round picks that they might offer one up for Zane Dersma. Now, riddle me that. If they came to us with a first-round pick for Zane, would you take it? Would you cut your losses and
is
run?
it their first round pick? I'd ask for a future first.
Well, they're going to have like 75 first-round picks. I just don't know where they're going to sit. They've got theirs.
It's a shit draft this year.
They've got theirs. They've got Essendon. They've got Melbourne's. They'll have whatever they get for Merritt, whatever they get for. They're going to get a first-round combo for Draper. So they're going to end up with picks. What do they finish behind us? So 4. If we take all the other stuff into it, they'll have pick 4, 5, 7. Would you take? I know pick 7 probably drifts to like pick 11, but would you take pick 7 for Zane Dersma and Jai Simpkin?
Oh, that seems. I don't know, because it's still a lottery game. Like you said, it's going to be
Sure.
Because you know what you got with Simpkin.
Yeah. The problem is with Simpkin, I don't know what we would get for him. I don't think another club's going to offer. No one's offering a first-round pick for someone who's never been All-Australian.
Yeah.
You know his deficiencies. We're not going to get true value for him, but I don't know what true value is. It's hard to work that out. I think we would get a pick. Again, this is without any interference in the draft. I think he's worth probably a pick 20 to 30.
Well, with his salary, I think it's even worse than that. If they were going to take his whole salary,
I'd be happy to pay some of the salary.
Yeah. If a team took his whole salary, you'd probably have to. A future second might have to just do.
Wow.
Yeah, which is hard, but I think it's a negative contract. To be honest with you, for a player of his ilk, I don't think he's an.
We have to pay. You have to meet the minimum cap though, and I guess we're not paying everyone a lot of money. So
Well, it's an interesting discussion, and we'll probably have more of that when we find out more in the next.
I would rather end up in a player swap with him as opposed.
Yeah, to, I agree. Yeah. I forget Nate Caddy. I'll take that. So, if they want Zane Dersma and Jai Simpkin for Nate Caddy,
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think it is. But you can only ask.
Unfortunately, I think that might be off the cards. But there's rumours that they're keen on Dersma.
They would be because his brother's here. So,
would you take a top 10 pick for him?
Zane Dersma. I think his value is only going to get worse next year because I don't think he's going to get going in the forward line.
That's what I'm thinking. He might end up being a Brownlow medalist. I don't know. He might pull his finger out and absolutely become a great player. But there is a part of me that goes, do you just pull the pin now? Maybe because he probably does want to leave in 12 months' time. And if Essendon were desperate enough and threw a top 10 pick, which I think would be crazy. I don't think he's worth a top. If I was another club and my club threw a top 10 pick at Zane Dersma, I'd be furious. But Essendon might be desperate.
Which they probably are a little bit.
Yeah, because they're not going to want all of these draft picks they're getting because it's a weak draft. So maybe in their mind, they can trust themselves to they throw Dersma up forward. They trust that they can get him into a good player.
Yes,
I'd take a top 10 for him.
I probably would now because I think his opportunity is going to be limited. He just doesn't get enough of the ball either. Like he's only getting 5 or 6 touches a game.
I'd use it and throw it at whatever defender we can find.
Look, if they want to give us Jordan Ridley or something like that, so
injured all the time though.
No different to what we've got anyways. He'd be a handy player if he was fully fit, but. It's going to be an interesting time. But we'll talk about a player we did sign, and that's Charlie Spargo. What are the thoughts here? Because I don't really understand it. 1 goal in 10 games this year. Never averaged a goal a game in his career. Injury prone the last couple of years. And apparently teams were into him, which I think is bullshit. That's the manager getting his client the best deal and squeezing every little bit of cent he could out of him.
I think the clubs that are after him were like I don't know, somewhere in local leagues, bush leagues.
Maybe VFL or something.
Not even VFL. I don't rate him at all.
I think he was a good player.
I rated him at his premiership year.
Yeah.
But then he just fell off a cliff. And
that's injury.
whose spot does he take in the team?
There's only one I can think of, and that's probably Costanti.
Well, that's it. And which we already want other players to take his role. Like, you don't have him in the team over a Harvey. I'd rather bench. I'd rather fucking Geordie Payne get a crack over Spargo. I just, I don't see this one. I've got no issue with clubs throwing the dot. Like we saw what Hawthorn did with your Chol and stuff like that, where you throw a dart at the board, you get some plays and you get lucky sometimes and they all come off. So I've got no issue with it if we were a good club with a good system, and we brought him in as a depth player because we thought we could do something with him. I've got no issue then. But if we're bringing him in because we think he can be a best 22 player with his current output, then we're in trouble.
Well, what's his best position? Is it small forward? Because he kicked one goal in 10 games.
Yeah, small forward, maybe wing.
People say his skills are good, but his special efficiency was 67% this year. He averaged 2 turnovers per game, which is a fifth of his possessions. I don't think his skills are that good. He's not quick, so he can't play on the wing.
He's not quick. No, he's definitely not quick. I don't see this one, especially
3 years as well. That was even look if it's a delisted free agent 1 year, all right, yeah, fine. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's the type of bloke who was probably going to get delisted anyway, and you pick him up as a delisted free agent.
Well, his manager said that he was going to get a 2-year deal from Melbourne. So, that's good work by his manager. Maybe his manager should be Eddie Ford's manager last year. So,
I just don't see it. I just don't see it at all. 3 years is absolutely obscene.
Yeah, I think that's far too much. And people are also saying these are the type of players we can only attract. But if that's all you can get, then don't get anyone.
Yeah, just go to the draft.
Your own, but yeah, you don't have to get players from other clubs that are fringe players.
No, and if you're going to take a punt on someone from another club, take a punt on someone on a backman.
Yeah, that's right. Keep back. We did
at least then, like a Toby Pink. At least then you have a chance of it coming off.
Yeah. But no,
I don't like it. But I mean, look, you're not giving out anything for it other than cash. I don't know what the cash is. Maybe it's $1 over 3 years. So I don't know. But
might be a bit overs there, Jesse.
He's not worth much. He's like, is he an upgrade on a Darcy Tucker? I'm being serious. I don't know if he is.
Different types of players. But yeah, look,
like you play Darcy Tucker in his preferred position where he's actually not tagging Rosie and he's getting the ball. We've seen him get a lot of pill. I actually think Tucker offers more. That's what I think of Spargo. I don't rate him at all anymore. But you know what? He could come in and turn into a Sean Higgins or something. I don't know.
I'd love to see that, but no,
I very much doubt it.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about this one. Apparently, Hugh Jackman from Port might be coming across as a delisted free agent. The Wolverine played 9 games this season. Didn't do much. Midfield, small forward. Skinny frame. Do you know much about him?
I know who he is. I saw some of his games. He just looked like a kid he just looked like a raw
Very
kid.
Raw.
But like everyone says that his main thing isn't forward, it's a midfielder. What the hell do we need another midfielder for?
Well, judging by his possessions, I think he only averaged like 8 possessions a game or something like that. So, he'd want to get a bit more of the ball if he's going to play midfield. I think this is me, Jesse. Now, I watched his junior highlights, and judging from his highlights, he looks like he has line-breaking ability, and they may try him as a rebounding defender. Clarko loves his left footers. That's the only thing I can think of.
He's a left footer, is he?
Yeah. So
okay,
that's probably half the reason he did.
Well, you know what? Maybe they know more than us, and they're going to turn Spargo and him into elite halfbackers with their penetrating kicks. I honestly don't know, but you got to look. I've got no issue with bringing them in. It was just the length of term for Spargo and doing a press conference about it. Well, not press conference, but like a press release, like it was the most exciting news in the world.
It's like we signed Zach Merritt.
Well, it's like you don't have Brisbane doing press conferences, and they've landed half the league.
Yeah.
They've got Draper. They've got Oscar Allen. They're going to get picked. They're going to get a top 4 pick because of the academy. They're going to get Ridley probably. Somehow they'll maneuver their way around that. And They're not doing a press thing about it. Well, we're doing it about bloody Charlie Spargo. Look, it is interesting because, realistically, the only trade we want to see are backmen.
Yeah. The key backman.
Oh,
We might as well go to the Jordan Butts from Adelaide. I can get behind this one. He's a key
I
defender.
like this one. Yeah, I like this one.
He's squeezed out of the team late in the year. Still got a year left in his deal.
He got injured in was it the Dogs game? I want to.
Yeah, he had a strange injury too, or something.
I watched him at times, and I thought he was pretty impressive. It just Adelaide. I know it doesn't look like this because they went out in straight sets, but they've got some decent defenders down there. I think he's a pretty good type. I think he's worth a punt. Like we've obviously look. I'm mindful that Logue had a lot of upside. I still think we were playing Logue out of position. He's not the number one defender. He's the number 2 or the number 3. And if he can play as the number 2, like he's probably who I want playing as Toby Pink, because I think Pink will obviously hit a ceiling. He's probably what I want Pink to play that role as the 2nd or 3rd and actually have someone playing first defender. So, look, Logue another year, hopefully has a really big preseason, can build on his fitness. I don't think he will because he seems like someone who just likes playing football and drinking beer. But I don't know.
Eating Zerha's food.
So. Yeah, well, that's it. So hopefully he pulls his finger out and has a big preseason and becomes a player we need. You got your Will Dawson, you've got all these different types, but I've got no issue with throwing at a few of these players. The problem is the Dogs are after him as well, and we'll be able to guarantee game time. We'll be able to offer a lot more money. The Dogs will be able to offer all we need is a defender, and if we can get that, we can probably play finals. So
Look, that's a problem. If a bigger club does come along for him, we've got to we're going to be stretched to try and get him, unless you offer like 5 or 6 years for a player,
which is overs.
Yeah.
That's effectively what we had to do with like a Logue, for example, who's on like 900k or something.
Yeah, he's still got 2 years left, so that contract isn't getting any better as the years go on.
A bit like the Aiden Core.
We've still got another year left, so But there's obviously rumours about Tyler Young from Richmond, another player. He's a key defender. He's actually not a bad player.
I liked Tyler Young.
Yeah. I actually don't mind that one.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of him, and he looked like a decent player. So if he can get squeezed out somehow, which if I was Tigers, I wouldn't want to lose him. But if he can get squeezed out somehow, I'd be keen to get him in.
Graham is coming to the chat. He sort of says, "Can we get Mackay and Goldie back off Essendon?" LOL. They might be the only players playing for him next year, to be honest with you. So yeah,
I wouldn't I'd give. I don't know. Oh God, they'd have to pay us.
Yeah, surely Goldie's not going around again.
It depends what happens. They're going to lose Draper. Nick Bryan, I don't think is fit for round 1. Because he didn't. Did he do an ACL? Yeah, he did an ACL.
Yeah, I think he did. They had a couple of ruckmen do ACLs, didn't they?
Back-to-back weeks. They had him do an ACL and then Draper do his Achilles. So he won't be ready, meaning they're going to have to play either Goldie or Vicentini. It wouldn't surprise me if Goldie got another year. It'd be pretty crazy, but it wouldn't shock me just because it's Brad.
Yeah, he loves him. So interesting. Brody Mychek. Apparently, we have a 3-year deal in front of him as well. That's the latest rumours.
I heard the D's do as well.
He's 32 years old.
I heard the D's have gone hard. Yeah, my Collingwood mate said wanted him dropped.
He's going that well.
he said he goes, of all the players, he's the one who should be delisted. He shouldn't get another go. And he said he went as far as saying that if you had to drop one of the key forwards this week, coming into the Brisbane game, he'd rather drop Mychek than Mason Cox. So that probably says how Mychek's going.
That's a bit of a worry. The thing of it is, like, you get players like... No, you got Trembath. He's going to hinder the development of him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You've got Trembath, you've got Larkey, you've got Darling, who's still there.
Zerha.
You got Zerha, Curtis, Harvey. Like, what position's Mychek playing? You're going to play 5 key forward. It's nonsense.
It's just stupid. Yeah.
They need to stop and just try and get a defender.
It doesn't. It seems like anyone that's available, they just we'll just get him. There doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be strategy sometimes with these things. Like I don't know if this is serious or not. If he does have a 3-year deal in front of him, but we did offer 3 years and we got Charlie Spargo, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did this with Brody Myercheck as well.
Surely not.
You'd hope not, but
Surely not.
yeah, not for no times past, and I can understand it with Mason Cox as well because at least he won't if he doesn't mark it, the ball goes in front of him. You can get
I don't rate Mason Cox at all, but at least well, no, I can't justify it. I don't rate him at all.
Yeah,
but
no.
if he's doing better than Myercheck, that probably says a lot about Myercheck. But we don't need a forward. I don't know why we're bothering the forwards. We just need to stop. I'm okay with a dangerous small forward if one exists that wants to come north. I don't know who that person is, but I'd be happy to do that. But it has to be just go for the defenders. No one else other than defenders.
No, we need a key defender. That's
that. We should be all in on that.
Yeah, Tyler Young or Jordan Butts.
Yeah, go in on those. Surely we are. I mean, the other name we're linked to is obviously Windhager. Who I think the D's are pretty strongly in front of. It's 50-50 if he goes, all the Saints offer him enough money. That'll be an interesting one because I rate him. I just don't know what we'd have to give up or whatnot. I rate him, but he'd also then be, I don't know.
Oh, he's a good two-way player.
It
looks unlikely now.
I
think we're third in the race of that one.
I think it's Saints and then D's.
Yeah, and I think we're the outsiders with that one at the moment. But that's I mean, there's 5 years there for him. So he's become a very good two-way player. Can play a defensive role, big-bodied, and certainly last 7 or 8 weeks, I think he averaged like 26 touches a game or something like that. So he certainly put himself in a frame that he's got potential to be the elite A grader.
It's just player. Obviously if a Windhager came into the team, then you're looking at your midfield and which role he can take and who goes out, and then we probably need to look at trading some midfielders.
Oh well, the captain looks like he's gone. So
like if I was but I mean if I was Tom Powell, I wouldn't stay around either.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get
someone came into, I think it was on X, I can't remember who it was, Tom Powell fan, sort of said, why, you sort of jumped off and want to trade Tom Powell. I'm not saying we want to trade him.
I don't want to trade him.
Yeah, but I think his opportunities in midfield are going to be limited.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to play him as a midfielder.
I think he's too good to play in the forward pocket. So.
And, that's exactly right. Maybe he gets Simpkins role on the wing, which I'd be happy with because I think he's a good outside player. But if he wants to play midfield time, he could go to an Adelaide. They'd throw it at him.
Yeah, 100%. Any other players you think we could pursue that is rumoured at other clubs? I can't think of any, to be honest with you. I think we've pretty much we've been rumoured with every player.
No, I don't think there's going to be. Unfortunately, we're not in the market for a Zach Merritt or a Charlie Curnow or someone like that. So they're only going to big clubs.
Or interstate clubs or something.
Or interstate clubs. So, I mean, realistically, I don't think there's that many defenders available.
No, they're hard to find.
They are hard to find.
So, but we'll certainly see. Now, there's been news with the coaching as well. Now, I think we kind of thought this was going to happen. Michael Barlow looks like he's going to become a line coach and become probably in the midfield, I'd have to say. And Tom Lynch is going to get promoted from the VFL coaching team to a development role. I haven't heard anything about Mark Williams, but it seems like a lot of people really rate Michael Barlow, and they've even said that the media have said that he looks like he's going to be a future senior coach.
He's highly rated, Barlow. The thing I like about him is that, and I know I called Mitchell a flog off air. There's a little bit of that around him. He goes into the rooms, talks shit with guys, is almost a little bit like a friend. And I think some of the players really respond to that, especially modern players. So, I really like Barlow. I like him going to this position. You got people say put in a handover plan between him and Clark, a succession plan. I mean, I think it's too early for that, but you know, I think he definitely will be a future coach. So I really like it. I like getting him more involved. Lynch as head of developments. I'm not. Look, they obviously rate him because he stayed on from the Noble era and they've kept him and promoted him effectively. So they must rate him. I was hoping Mark Williams was going to come in and take that role, but obviously not.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the story was, because that was quite strong, those rumours a couple of weeks ago. So.
Yeah, Clarko even mentioned him in press conference. So he was obviously keen for someone like him. But yeah, obviously we couldn't. Maybe he's going somewhere else because we ended up. Surely he would have been good for head of development.
Yeah, well, it means Tom Lynch will probably spend time on the bench. You could sort of tell even when Clarko went on the bench, he was interacting with Michael Barlow
a lot more. Yeah.
He's obviously really rates his opinion, because when he's in the box, he seems to just have Todd Viney next to him and talking to him a fair bit rather than actually any of the other assistants. So,
well, that's the other option. Maybe Todd Viney throws in the towel.
He's done a lot of work. he's entitled for a pay rise. He's been he's had to come in for a lot of the criticism that's come towards the club and the president, and he's came in at bat and faced the media. He's been in the coach's box. I don't know if that was part of his role as well, but he seems to be doing that also. So, yeah, I'm not too sure if he's going to get burnt out and just want to go back to the farm life, or if he's happy to stay on. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I haven't heard much from Jen Watt either lately. So
no, I haven't heard from her at all.
Yeah, I don't know if hopefully she's all right. But even like AFLW games, Sonia and her used to spend a lot of time together. And lately, I've heard, I went to one game a few weeks ago and they weren't together at all. So I don't know where Jen Watt was. So I'm not too sure.
Interesting.
I'm not going to spread fire or rumours or anything like that. But yeah, it's just been interesting that. I haven't heard anything from her. Didn't hear from her at the BNF either. So
yeah, it's a bit weird.
It is a little bit. So Darcy Tucker was at the BNF. Jesse, is he going to get another year?
Surely not.
Are you sort of worried about a couple of players now, because of the players we're getting in and rumoured with, and someone like a Cooper Harvey, who I'd really like to get another year, and he's shown enough to get another.
If they cut Cooper Harvey to get Charlie Spargo in, there's something.
That doesn't sound right, does it?
No, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. That would be a disgrace because he'll get picked up by another club.
Oh, and so he should. You look like a very smart forward. Even Matthew Lloyd, that game where he kicked 4 goals, I think it was against Melbourne.
Yeah.
He sort of said, he's the only forward I've seen from North Melbourne this year that creates space and leads and knows a forward patterns. He goes, he even said Nick Larkey wasn't even doing that. So, yeah, it's a bit bizarre.
It is a bit.
It's a bit of a worry too.
It is a bit of a worry. It probably means you can't keep Harvey bench. One of them probably has to go.
Well, Banch is getting another year, isn't he?
I don't. Well, yeah, that's what
I've heard.
That's what they've said, but I don't think he signed anything yet.
Yeah, CCJ apparently going to get another year, but
that's terrible.
That's where would they? Is that just like not admitting that you made a mistake getting into a 5-year contract and thinking, we're just going to keep going to the well. Hopefully, it comes good, so we can justify our selection.
I'll tell you the only thing I could think of. I reckon if he was delisted, someone else would pick him up.
You reckon CCJ?
Yeah.
Someone else? Yeah, okay.
As a rookie, they'd take a punt on him.
He's 26. A lot of injuries. Maybe he might go back to Richmond. Who knows? So.
Maybe. Oh God, maybe.
Yeah, they'll be laughing at us, and then he'll come good again.
God.
Yeah. Well, there's lots to play out over the next few weeks. That's for sure, Jesse. Any final words before I let you go?
No, all good, mate. I'm keen to see what happens for the rest of the finals, and then obviously we get into the trade season and the drafting season, and that'll be fascinating. We've just got to hopefully we don't do anything too stupid.
I think we will.
Yeah, I think we will as well.
Yeah, I think we've already started doing stupid things, but don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Look, we talked a little bit off there, and it's the finals games. They're going to be ripper games this week, and it's been a bit overshadowed with all these rumours of captains wanting to leave and players asking for trades and so forth. Who's your tip this year, anyway?
I think Geelong.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see any of the other three teams. I can't see Hawthorn beating Geelong. I just don't see it. I don't think they're the same weight class, so I don't see them getting near Geelong. And then I don't think Collingwood. I think Brisbane will win on the weekend. I think Brisbane will beat Collingwood. I think they smash.
It's going to be a little bit of an upset.
Like people were saying, they're missing Lockie Neal, they're missing, Payne and down back, they're missing, but they were missing all of Hipwood. They were missing all these players when they beat Collingwood by 50 points 6 weeks ago, and Collingwood they limped into the finals, limped in. I remember they got over Melbourne by like a point or something. Absolutely limped in, and then they luckily beat Adelaide. It was a good game, but Adelaide had a terrible final series. So I think that Brisbane will win, and I think it'll be a Brisbane-Geelong grand final, and I think it'll be much closer than the qualifying was, but I think Geelong will get the job done. Okay, and then they're going to get Charlie Curnow.
Geelong? Just to rub it in?
Well, he said that they're his preference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
And, they might as well because they get everyone else.
Well, he's 30 years old now too, so
they'll get a couple of years out of him and Cameron.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think Cameron's 31 or something. Cameron can play he plays on the wing half the time anyway, so he pushes up the ground. So they'll leave Charlie Curnow in 450 space, but it's not a bad time for if that did happen.
I don't think it's that big of a loss. I don't think.
I thought he was terrible this year.
I don't think him and Mackay play particularly well together. They play well independent of one another, and I'd almost rather keep Mackay, to be honest.
Yeah, talking to a few Carlton supporters, they said the same thing. They'd rather Mackay than.
This is a better contested mark. I think he's more consistent in the years that he's played well, and I think he gels better with their team makeup.
It's just whether he's right in the right headspace. I think that's been his issue this year. So they can worry about that next year because they're sort of in that mid-table mediocrity at the moment. They don't know where they're going, so they're going to have to make some tough calls on players, and it looks like they're going to have to make a tough call on Charlie Curnow and try and get the best deal they can for him because it doesn't look like he wants to be there.
No, well, he said he'd take a pay cut. So.
Yeah, that's saying so. That's obviously something wrong. If you're asking for a pay cut to, leave your current work of employment, then obviously you aren't very happy with something there. So, let them worry about. Anyways, Jesse, thanks so much for coming on tonight. There was a lot to discuss. I'll try and get you on the next few weeks, but you're going to be quite busy in a few weeks' time. So I'll see how that goes. But we'll definitely keep in touch. Yeah, that's it. That's all we can do. But if anything comes up in the next couple of weeks, we'll definitely have to have another show. And hopefully, nothing stupid happens in between then. And we don't sign anyone to 4-year contracts.
Mate. We can only hope.
Yeah, that's it. But thanks so much for coming on, Jesse. I really appreciate it.
All good, mate. Thank you.
And thanks to all you local listeners as well for tuning in tonight. I'll be back probably early next week to review the girls' game. Probably another win against Carlton this week. They always win, so why not? Don't forget, they win for fun, Jesse. They win for fun. So don't forget, subscribe, leave a comment. And that's it from me. Bye for now, and go Roos.